Mabrika and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Taíno. Dr. Priscila Colon, co-founder and creative here at Casareito, where our mission is to promote the Taíno language and culture. So what did I say right there? Dr. Priscila Colon? I said I am Priscila Colon, and that is what we're going to be covering during our episode today. During the video on Taíno resources, I covered this book. It's called Primario Básico del Taíno Boriquenaiki, and it means Basic Fundamentals of Boriquen's Taíno Language. That's the book that we'll be using as our resource today. And today we're going to be talking about personal pronouns and the verb to be. Now, don't get scared if you're not into grammar, you don't remember the grammar terms, no worries, you don't need to know any of that. I'll cover everything very basically so that you understand and can get speaking right away. And at the end, you'll be able to participate in a really short conversation. So let's get started. So the personal pronouns that we're going to be covering today are the singular ones. That is when you're speaking about yourself or to or about one person. And they are as follows. I, which is dak in Taíno. You, the informal version when you're speaking to a friend, someone your age, and that is buk. You, the formal version, that is when you're speaking, let's say, to someone who's much older, a respected elder, that is guahotik. He, which is lik, and she, which is tuk. Now the verb to be is the one that you use when you say I am, you are, he, she, is, and that describes either a permanent or a temporary state. What do I mean by that? It describes who or what someone is, whether all the time or sometimes. So I could say I am a woman or I am a teacher. In Taíno, the verb to be is toca. Now that you know the personal pronouns and the verb toca, you can put them together. But let's go over some rules first. The first rule is that the pronouns go before the verb. So just like in English, you say I am, you are, you will see the dak, I, before the verb toca. The second rule is that we add an apostrophe to separate the pronoun and the verb. And the final rule is actually really cool. The verb conjugations, or the forms of the verbs, don't change. So you know how in English you have to say I am, you are, he is. You always have to change the verb. In Taíno, you don't. It's always toca. So let's take a look at how that works. And it's super simple. I am, dak toca. You are, informal, buk toca. You are, formal, guahotik toca. He is, lik toca. She is, tuk toca. Now I'm going to show you how simple it is for you to describe yourself or other people using what we've just learned and vocabulary from our previous videos. And you'll also be learning a couple of new words. So let's get started. Dak toca bibi, which means I am a mother. Notice that I don't have to add a or an before the noun. Dak toca tequina. I am a teacher. Now let's use the informal you when you're speaking to someone who is your age or a friend. Buk toca guaitiao. You are a friend. Buk toca rokotara. You are a student. Now let's say you are when speaking in a formal tone. Let's say to an elder. Guahotik toca Taíno. You are Taíno. Guahotik toca bohique. You are a healer. Now if you joined us for our last video, you know this guy. He was a chief, Aguibana. So let's describe him. Lik toca cacique. He is chief. Lik toca Aguibana. He is Aguibana. If you've watched previous videos, you're also very familiar with this chief, Anakaona. So let's describe her. Tuk toca cacique. She is chief. Tuk toca anakaona. She is anakaona. So, now that you know I am, you are, he, and she is, you are ready for a short conversation. Trust me, you have acquired so much Taíno vocabulary to this point. You can describe yourself using some of the vocab we've learned, and you can describe other people. So, you ready for this? Let's take a look. Taigüey, dakto ka Priscilla.
Taigüey, dakto ka Eliezer.
Bukto ka Taíno.
Han, dakto ka Taíno.
Tukto ka anakaona.
Ua, likto ka Agüevana. Likto ka Cacique.
Taikaraya Guaitiao.
Taikaraya.
Wasn't that cool? And don't worry if you didn't get it the first time around. Just go back a little bit and you can watch the subtitles underneath. But I swear, you've learned so much at this point. You'll be able to recreate your own conversations using everything that you've learned so far. So let's take a look at everything you know. So during this session, we learned dak, I, dakto ka, I am, buk, informal you, bukto ka, informal you are, guahotik, formal you, guahotikto ka, formal you are, lik, he, likto ka, he is, tuk, she, tukto ka, she is. We also learned two new words, tekina, teacher, rokotara, student. We also reviewed all of these other words. Han, yes. Wa, no. Taíno, taigüey, good day. Taikaraya, good night. Cacique, chief or chiefess. Bohique, shaman, spiritual leader or healer. Guaitiao, friend. Bibi, mother. Thank you again for tuning in to Let's Talk Taíno. We've learned so much in such little time. Please continue subscribing and joining us every week. I know that we can be even more conversant in Taíno and really revive this language. Dakto ka Priscilla Kolo, bidding you Taikaraya Guaitiao. Bye everyone. We'll see you next time.